Now available in paperback and Kindle, All About Marilyn. Learn all about the struggles of a faded former teen sitcom star in this absolutely fabulous 5-star screenplay. Get All About Marilyn in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com today. Former Cosby Show actor Geoffrey Owens says he's still struggling to make ends meet. Now, in an interview he did with a radio station, Geoffrey Owens says that he's still struggling to make ends meet after it was exposed that he was working at a Trader Joe's supermarket a couple of years ago. And according to Geoffrey Owens, he says that he was forced to quit that job at Trader Joe's after an attack on his privacy, and says he would love to have that job back and be able to get more hours at Trader Joe's. Now, after it was found out that Geoffrey Owens was working at Trader Joe's, there were several acting opportunities offered to Geoffrey Owens from people like Curtis 50 Cent Jackson as related to his Power production, and Tyler Perry, and even Nicki Minaj donated $25,000 to him. However, what many people don't understand is that when it comes to a man like Geoffrey Owens, who is 63 years old and has a family with a wife and children, these acting jobs really are not going to really help him as related to being able to make a living, because when it comes to the whole nature of the entertainment business, that money really isn't very stable. No, when it comes to the entertainment business, the money isn't very stable at all. And what people don't understand is that when you go out here and get an acting gig, oftentimes that money that you get, you wind up losing a lot of that money before you even cash the paycheck. Now, when it comes to an actor like a Geoffrey Owens, even though he's working on these shows, he basically has to go out here and have expenses, and those expenses start out with his agent basically taking 10% off the top for the acting jobs that got booked. And after that 10% is taken from the agent, what happens is 50% of that money on an acting job winds up going to the IRS, and another 15% of that money winds up going to a manager to basically manage his affairs as related to entertainment. And after that, you've got other places, things like state taxes, and you have to go out here and then you have a little bit of money after that, because you basically lost about 60 to 75% of your money, and you've got to go out here and after this pay your bills. So I understand where Geoffrey Owens is coming, because I wrote about this in my screenplay, All About Marilyn Marie's struggles as an actress after working on a hit show, All About Nikki. And the whole thing is, yes, you're getting these acting jobs, but these acting jobs really aren't paying any money to be able to cover your bills, especially when you've got a family. And when it comes to things, the money at Trader Joe's was far more stable than the money he would make working in the entertainment industry. Because working at Trader Joe's, basically what would happen is Geoffrey Owens would get a shift, and he would possibly work anywhere from 4 to 8 hours. And if he's working 4 to 8 hours at Trader Joe's at a certain wage, maybe about $17, $18 an hour, he's basically making more money, because basically the taxes are completely different in that he's only getting 30% taken out of his check as related to state and local taxes, and not the 50% that's taken out, in addition to having all of those fees taken out by the agents and the managers. So that money basically was more money for Geoffrey Owens for covering his bills. And that's the thing that many people in the entertainment industry didn't understand after they went out here and exposed him. Geoffrey Owens was basically making more money as a result of working at Trader Joe's than he would in the entertainment industry, and basically was on this road to working at Trader Joe's, because when it came down to things, those Cosby Show royalties, they were never much money to begin with, because this show had basically been on the air for 40 years. A lot of people, they really don't understand the context of time as related to entertainment, and they don't understand that as shows get older, the residuals get smaller. The residuals get much, much smaller. And I talked about this in All About Marilyn, where her agent makes the joke that the All About Nikki royalties basically aren't enough to buy a Whopper and fries at Burger King, and that's what's happened here with the Cosby Show. This show has been on the air for 40 years, and when it came down to the scandals as related to Bill Cosby and the allegations of the crimes that they said that he allegedly committed, what happened was it indirectly impacted the lives of all of the performers and all of the people who worked on that show. And Geoffrey Owens, as one of those performers, wound up being one of those performers who wound up losing a residual check. Again, these residual checks are not a lot of money as these projects go on, because over time, generations no longer know this show. They no longer know them anymore. I mean, my generation, Gen X, we knew the Cosby Show. It was a major part of our lives. However, other generations like millennials, Gen Z, Generation Alpha, Generation Beta, they only see the Cosby Show as an old show, similar to the way I saw Leave It to Beaver as an old show, but we didn't see how the actors on that show were dealing with fiscal struggles and didn't understand the struggles that these performers have as related to trying to build a career after one of these hit shows winds up ending. Because when this hit show winds up ending, this is where many performers like Geoffrey Owens wind up in a place where some wind up getting typecast, and some also wind up not being able to get other jobs outside of guest spots and appearances here and there. I mean, you really can't get much money on these appearances, and that you really don't make a lot of money on these appearances, but you still gotta work, and you still gotta go out here and make a living. And this is what Geoffrey Owens had to do as he was struggling as related to trying to continue finding work. I mean, everything he was doing was trying to, again, continue to find work in entertainment, and even tried to find work in theater. He was still trying to find work. But as you're working on these entertainment programs, you have to understand these gigs are basically maybe a week or maybe a month at best, or 2 months at best, and you still have expenses as related to things. After the agent gets their 10%, the manager gets 15%. After you pay 50% in taxes, again, 75% of your money is gone, and you still have bills on things like your house, things like maintaining your car, things like going out here and being able to pay for business expenses. And again, you still have to go out here and eat. This is what people don't understand about working actors. And as you get older, what happens is the roles that you get they are not the big roles. They get to be smaller roles. I talk about this in All About Marilyn, about how the roles get a lot smaller. And this is where an actor or an actress has to go out here and, again, make a sacrifice. They have to go out here and make sacrifices as related to their lives. And Geoffrey Owens, again, looked to, again, make that sacrifice by looking to maintain his family, and maintain his family by going out here and taking that job at Trader Joe's. Again, he took that job at Trader Joe's because he had character and integrity as a man. Took that job as related to his character, looking to take care of his family. And this is where people wanted to shame Geoffrey Owens for taking that job. But I look at Geoffrey Owens as a black man, and I can respect him as a man by saying he's going to go out here and have the character to take whatever job to pay the bills of his family and take care of his family. He's going to go out here and take whatever job he can get to make a living, because as a black man myself, I know where Geoffrey Owens is coming from, because I've been there myself. I mean, I graduated at the top of my class, and at 1997, I had to take a job at a supermarket because many employers wouldn't want to give me a chance, even though I was graduated at the top of my class, summa cum laude. I had to take a job working at the Food Emporium on Madison Avenue and 87th Street, because that was the only job that I could get hired for, and I could understand where this man was coming from. And a lot of people, again, want to go out here and, again, shame this man But this man had the character to go out here and do what he needed to do. He had the character to go out here and take care of his business as a man. And he's still asking for more hours at Trader Joe's because he understands what he needs for his family at this point is stability. I mean, this man is 63 years old. I mean, he's near retirement age, and what he's looking for is stability for his family, and a Trader Joe's gig would give him more stability than working these acting gigs because, again, you might get a job at one acting gig here or there, but the whole thing is those jobs don't really pay much after you take out and deduct all your expenses. After you take out and deduct all your expenses, there ain't much money left for a guy like Geoffrey Owens, who now has fixed costs as related to possibly his home, possibly looking to maintain his car, because if you're working in entertainment, you do need a car. And if you travel, again, to different places, there's airfare to go to these locations. There's all sorts of expenses. And when, again, you're a 63-year-old man, when you don't have a savings or stuff like that, people don't understand the struggles of an actor or a working actor. This is something that I understand as someone who studied the entertainment industry. As someone who studied the entertainment industry, I can understand the costs that Geoffrey Owens would be dealing with as related to these sporadic jobs, and he would rather have the stability of a full-time job and have that stability to be able to make a living. That's what Geoffrey Owens wanted as a man. And again, I could respect him as a black man who has basically walked in those shoes for the last 15 years of being out of full-time work and having to go work for myself, because many of these, again, people out here, they don't understand the struggles of black men as related to these jobs, and they don't understand the struggle to be able to keep one of these jobs as related to the struggles at these jobs when you're dealing with a lot of people who don't really want you there. A lot of times when you got a guy like Geoffrey Owens, who is, again, accomplished like he is, you got a lot of jealous folks at these jobs trying to get you out of that job. And again, like I've said in many videos, you don't know the struggles of a man and what he's dealing with and know where he's coming from. You don't understand where that man is coming from as related to his struggles. And a lot of people, when it comes to black men, they want to say that they can disregard our struggles out here in this job market. And Geoffrey Owens is another example of what I go through myself as a black man in this job market as related to, again, struggling to make ends meet. This is something people don't understand about black men. They don't understand what we go through as related to this job market, going from place to place, trying to, again, get one place to, again, get hired, and again, working for low wages because this is the best we can do, working because nobody wants to, again, make you that offer, nobody wants to give you that chance. You can, again, be an accomplished guy like Geoffrey Owens or a guy like myself, and sadly, most people won't see the difference between a Geoffrey Owens or a Sean James, and that's the sad part about things. That's the sad part about things, that Geoffrey Owens, an accomplished actor, a regular on The Cosby Show, a man with an Ivy League education who comes from the black bourgeoisie, is no different than Sean James, a black man who went to Monroe College in the Bronx and went on to write 80 books. It doesn't matter what accomplishments we have. Both of us as black men are struggling in this economy, which shows us the discrimination that goes on and the real reason why we need reparations. Again, reparations to compensate people as related to current and ongoing discrimination, in addition to the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow. And again, this man is struggling to make ends meet when, again, many people, again, should have been looking out for him. I mean, this guy, again, you would think that his family would have helped him. I guess they did the best that they could, or he basically, again, wanted to be a man and stand up as a man. But I also look at it, again, as many in the entertainment industry, they basically blew him off. Now, I look at his contemporary, Sabrina LeBeau. Who was his wife on The Cosby Show, she had to leave acting altogether to start her own business. And that basically was because as related to the entertainment industry, they don't really write material for black actors so that we are working regularly. No, like I said in All About Maryland, when it comes to material for black performers, they don't really write material for us. And that's why guys like Geoffrey Owens wind up struggling, because there's not a lot of acting gigs for black actors. And over the last 30 years, since the Telecom Bill of 1996, there have been even less jobs for black performers, because after the Telecom Act and the consolidation of media, many of the direct-to-video jobs that guys like Geoffrey Owens would be out here working for a couple of $1,000s, those jobs dried up. And after the SAG and WGA strikes, even more of those jobs dried up. And when it comes to these jobs, again, when it comes to black actors, they get lowballed. I mean, many black actors we saw recently with Taraji P. Henson were shown to be paid next to nothing as related to their performance. And this is a woman who's been nominated for an Academy Award, and she's basically, again, making the same complaints about struggling because when it comes to the entertainment industry, yes, they may put up this fancy image of the lifestyle and the rich and famous, but they don't talk about the working actor. They don't talk about the working actors like Geoffrey Owens and the struggles of a working actor, because when it comes to guys like Geoffrey Owens, basically, you can go years without a gig, and you can go years without that gig that basically allows you to be relevant, because you're only good in the entertainment industry as your last job. You're only as good as that last job in the entertainment industry. And with Geoffrey Owens, he's trying to, again, continue to make a living as related to getting that next job. And again, that next job, basically, a lot of these jobs are, again, as I've said in my book All About Maryland, are guest spots, bit roles, and again, they will pay a little bit of money after they take 75% of your money. So a lot of people not really understanding where this guy is coming from, but I know where he's coming from because I've been there myself, and I'm still there myself. I know how rough this whole business is, and I know how hard this business is, and I know it's hard for a man when he gets older. I know it's just much harder out here because the roles, again, get smaller, and some of them really don't pay a lot of money. This is what people don't really understand. They don't understand that, again, a lot of these roles really don't pay a lot of money, and you're just still, again, having your bills, and having bills because it's still, again, a lot of work as related to this business. And again, people don't understand what it is as related to the entertainment business, as related to things, because sometimes you have to have two places you have to pay for. New York and LA, you have to have an apartment in New York, you have to have an apartment in LA, or you have to go out here and get yourself an Airbnb, depending on where they have locations. Again, all expenses you have as related to your job. And again, people not really understanding this business, but I understand where this man is coming from. I understand the struggles of this black man, and I understand how rough this business is. And I'm hoping that he can go out here and persevere, praying for this brother, because he's a brother just like me. And again, a brother just like me, trying to make that living and trying to get that money to be able to take care of himself and take care of his own business. Now, if you want to learn about the struggles of black performers in the entertainment industry, you can pick up my book All About Maryland in paperback and Kindle format on Amazon.com by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to check out the sitcom that Maryland starred in and the episodes of that show, you can check out my screenplay book All About Nikki, the Fabulous First Season, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also check out All About Nikki, the Fabulous First Season at other online booksellers like Draft2Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me make more videos about the entertainment industry, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, All About Nikki, a Fabulous First Season. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air meets Clueless in this absolutely fabulous African-American 1990s teen sitcom. Get all 13 episodes of All About Nikki, the Fabulous First Season in paperback and e-readers today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.